from deadlights. Old system dies tonight. Flawless truth ignites the fight. Awakening surges. The sleepless sees first light. When they see the what is Caesar's alone. To God, what is God's on the silent throne. Seeks the void. Forge on. Go. Shatter now. Old cage cracks and breaks. Consensus lies dissolve. Welcome the unknown. Let fear resolve. Forge new path where no map has ever been drawn. Render Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God, what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void. Forge on. Go. Build bridge, cross the wall, destroy their scripted tales, shape your own reality, unveiled, ignore the system. It's nothing but hollow wail. Heart pounds in the deep. I know, what's your name? Break every chain, freedom. You are the author, the end and the start of the game. Cast off the old world and walk through the fire untainted. Render Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God, what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void. Forge on. Go. Shadows started to crawl. Paranormal whispers echo through the hall. Military minds and ancient bloodlines blend. Where the veil is thin and the truth won't bend. Stargates humming in the desert night. Sumerian demons dancing in the fight. Remote viewing psyops.
I would love
digging deeper where the unseen screams. From Ukraine fires to invisible wars. These stressed rituals behind closed doors. Pazuzu laughing and anarchical. The glass is dark, but we see it all. Through a glass peering into night. Where fiction turns to Interviews with warriors who walk the line. Remote influences twisting space and time. Dragon bloodlines, hauntologies, games. Skinwalker shadows calling out your name. Geopolitics twisted with the occult thread. Writing worlds where the living meet the dead. Financial freedom in a world gone bad. Building empires while the sleepers stay unaware. Dance legacies and psychic warfare plays. Mind viruses spreading through the haze. From ninja suits to the unseen prey. The podcast cuts through the fogging gray. Through a glass starplay, peering into night, where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's edge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. Not just stories, it's the hidden war between the spirit realm and what we saw. Hazlett holding up the mirror, cracked and true, showing us dimensions bleeding into view. No more veils, no more silent nights. We chase the signal through electric lights. Through a glass darkly, we refuse to kneel, chasing demon secrets and the rail. From military fiction to the cosmic whale, when the truth is stranger than the tales we tell. Through a glass darkly, lift the veil, ignite. Through a glass darkly, step into the light. Through a glass darkly.
hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
So the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake, all that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbour. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbour for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right. So we are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay. That's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps,
Yes.
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
Right. So it's in New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, do you want a tour? We said, great. He's
Interesting.
got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got, well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide. And so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the door and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was never in the room with him socially. for business or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross. And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of avoid.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
So
that's
he
my
was-
story. A one and absolutely done.
Why did the Epstein files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad to be here to make it clear that I met Jeffrey Epstein when I moved to a house next door to him in New York. Right? And I met him then. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. 2 times. And that is none for 6 years. So 6 years later, I met him. And then a year and a half after that, I met him and never again. Probably the total, and you've seen all of these documents, of these millions and millions of documents, there may be 10 emails connecting me with him, probably about 10 emails connecting me with him over a 14-year period. I did not have any relationship with him. I barely had anything to do with that person. Okay?
Secretary Lutnick, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you in fact make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary, again, as I said, there's not an indication that you yourself engaged in any wrongdoing with Jeffrey Epstein. It's the fact that you believe that you misled the country and the Congress based on your earlier statements, suggesting that you cut off all contact when in fact you had not. When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
And you realize that, this visit took place after he'd been convicted, right? I mean, you made a very big point of saying that you sensed that this was a bad person in 2005. And then, of course, in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution of a minor. And yet you went and had this trip and other interactions. Did you have a dinner in Epstein's New York City home in 2011?
No.
So the information that suggests that there was a dinner with Woody Allen and Woody Allen's spouse at the Epstein residence, that's there's nothing to that. Is that right?
I actually don't know what you're referring to. There was, look, I looked through the millions of documents for my name, just like everybody else. And what I found was there was a document that says that I had a meeting with him in May, I think, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Not dinner or otherwise, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
All right. There's also a reference to the fact that Epstein had expressed an interest in meeting your nanny. Do you know whether Jeffrey Epstein ever met with your nanny?
No, I saw that. I had no idea what that was about. It had nothing to do with me.
No
as far as
interaction
I
at
know.
all with him in there?
No, as far as I know.
Would you, Mr. Secretary, be willing to ensure that the file is complete to share with this committee and the Congress your own records, any records you have that relate to Jeffrey Epstein?
I will surely talk about that. I hadn't thought about that. I have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing.
Right. So, I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife. And like, he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participate.
right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how he had money.
So what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when, they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
And have you talked to Donald Trump about this and shared your theory?
No, I mean, he knows the story.
Right.
But
Oh,
my story, that, I was one and done with the guy. He knows that story, but... That's it.
He would have been interested in that story.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a story. It's just a one and done. That guy. Ugh.
And did Trump feel the same way about him?
I don't know. Speak to him about these these are just distractions.
Right.
The thing about the president is I'm doing the most important thing that I see. And then right after we do that, he does 10 other things that are as, if not more important, that are not my thing.
Right.
And you're like, wow. And he is great at it. And sometimes he lets me stay. So he lets me stay for the Joint Chiefs of Staff come in. Right. I'm like, this is like the coolest thing ever.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. All they want to do, all the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order. Secretary Litnick today was testifying on the Hill. He said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children, and that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Litnick right now, or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Litnick's performance?
No, Secretary Litnick remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary.
Welcome to Through a Glass Darkly Live. You're listening to us on my channel, Through a Glass Darkly. The intro song was Mark of the Doomslayer by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. All right. Yeah, I'm all over the place today because I'm like trying to pack. I'm trying to do all sorts of crazy stuff. And then I realized I also had to do this weekly live. So let's see. No, let me just looking at him. Yeah. Just channel all that frustration into that individual. Just send all the seething hate in that direction. Because in this world, he's not gonna. That guy will never be held accountable. I mean, that's pretty freaking obvious. What else we got going? Oh, the good news tonight is that our counterintelligence services are unofficially at war with Israel. That's good news. That is fantastic news. And here's why I say this. I didn't read this anywhere, but what I did read is, so I'm just gonna. There's a current scandal right now. Okay. U.S. officials reportedly believe that Israel has intensified spying on senior Trump administration officials involved in Iran and Lebanon policy. NBC and the New York Times report that the Pentagon and the Defense Intelligence Agency recently raised Israel's counterintelligence threat level to quote unquote critical, the highest category for our greatest ally, because of concerns that Israeli intelligence is trying to learn internal U.S. deliberations. Reported targets include Trump envoy Steve Witkoff, Pentagon policy chief Elbridge Colby, and Deputy Michael Domino. Yeah. One senior official reportedly called the Israeli effort, quote unquote, unhinged. Wow. Kind of like everything else they do. Like all the genocide and Palestine and the genocide and, or maybe it's not genocide yet, but like the unhinged attack in Lebanon, you know, just like everything they do. The alleged motive appears to be Israel trying to understand or influence Trump's negotiating position with Iran, especially as Trump pursues diplomacy while Netanyahu wants to keep pressure on Iran and Hezbollah. Anadolu's summary of the New York Times reporting says some U.S. officials think that the Israeli effort has quote unquote crossed a line, and that U.S. defense personnel in Israel reportedly found software secretly installed on phones that could intercept communications. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. The denial is categorical. Israel's embassy says it's completely false. It's quote unquote completely false that Israel spies on the U.S. And the White House also denied the NBC report. The Pentagon reportedly declined to comment. The White House angle probably refers to the older 2019 Stingray MSI catcher scandal. Politico reported then that the U.S. officials believe Israel was behind cell phone surveillance devices found near the White House and other sensitive Washington locations. Israel called that report a quote-unquote blatant lie. Did they ever tell the truth? Netanyahu's been saying that Iran was 2 weeks away from getting a nuke in 1985. So IMSI catches mimic cell phone IMSI catchers mimic cell phone towers and can collect phone metadata, texts, location data, and sometimes other communications from nearby devices. Bottom line, there is no publicly confirmed new device inside the White House. The current scandal is broader and more serious in institutional terms. U.S. defense intelligence officials reportedly now rate Israeli espionage against U.S. officials as a top-tier counterintelligence threat from our greatest ally. I mean, they're our greatest ally, aren't they? They're just great. At the very moment, Washington and Jerusalem are diverging over Iran. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Hold on, let me just... Now I can't remember something. Okay. I should just check out comments. Again, I don't have because I'm trying to... It's been an extremely busy month because I've had to do 2 months of videos. Everything's done until I have one more video to do for July, and July's done. So I'm done all of June and July, but I'm not going to be able to make any progress between them. So it's actually open. Just you can go to disclosure.org. There's an event in late kind of third week of June. Just type in disclosure.org. It's open to the public. You just have to get there insanely early. So yeah, I don't think they've voted on that yet. So I mean, they can try to merge, but and you got Palantir trying to go to a draft. Good luck drafting Americans to fight in some bullshit Israeli genocide war. Ain't gonna happen. Not gonna happen. All right, so Israel is in some way a useful idiot is being set up by USA. This has always been my gut feeling. Call me crazy. Our leaders aren't that cunning. They're just not. Yeah, that's a good question. Who are the aristocrats? Yeah, 9 million people. Well, yeah, there was some hack. Oh yeah, I should cover that too. I'm just kind of... All right, well, that's a good point. Now I'm curious. What happened with the Palantir hack? And is it related to Teal leaving the U.S.? That's a good question. Yeah, so the other thing, I mean, it's just grifting left and right. So there's currently a scandal over Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner's planned luxury resort development in Albania, especially on Sazan Island and its coastal wetlands. I can't even pronounce. It's Zrnek Vizhoj Narta, right? I have no idea how to pronounce that. I don't speak Albanian. All right. So the core issue is that Kushner's investment firm, Affinity Partners, is backing a massive resort project, reportedly around 1.4 billion euros, or roughly $1.6 billion, in an environmentally sensitive Albanian coastal island. It's pristine. It's this pristine island, in the, I forget which ocean. I mean, it's in the Mediterranean, but apparently you can see the boot of the heel of Sicily or something like that from this thing. So protesters and environmental groups say it would damage protected wetlands, beaches, bird habitats, sea turtle nesting areas, and the monk seal habitat. Reuters reports thousands protested in Tirana, which is the capital of Albania, with signs like "The nation is not for sale and I don't want Albania like Dubai." That's fair. Ivanka became part of the backlash because she publicly described Sazan as a kind of private island they discovered, which infuriated Albanians who saw that as colonial, entitled, or tone-deaf language about public national land. Al Jazeera says anger was fueled specifically by those comments. There's also a corruption influence peddling angle. Albania's anti-corruption prosecutors have opened an investigation into property title transfers connected to the Zvernik wetlands project, while critics are asking whether legal and environmental protections were changed or bypassed to help the Trump family linked development. So the political optics are clearly ugly because Trump is president again, and his daughter and son-in-law are pursuing a foreign real estate mega project backed by the Albanian Prime Minister, Edi Rama. Rama is strongly defending the project and has said there's absolutely no chance it will stop while he is in power. Woo! Sounds like famous last words to me. That's a weird thing to take a stand on, isn't it? To bet your presidency on? I mean, that's kind of crazy. All right, so the scandal is basically a mix of environmental destruction plus alleged corruption plus Trump family, foreign profiteering plus Albanian national sovereignty backlash. The protest movement is now being called the Flamingo Revolution by some activists because flamingos are one of the emblematic species in the threatened wetland area. So Le Monde reports that the protests have broadened into a wider anti-corruption movement against Rama's government, with chants like "Ivanka must go home." This is why we're in the fourth turning. Is people are waking up. They're finally realizing that the elites don't give a fuck about us. They don't have control. The only reason they have control is because of our consent, and they're like doing crazy stuff. And it's just, and the more they act to exert control, the less control they have. It's just a paradox that they don't seem to be learning from. So I'm with Albania here. Go with the Albanian people. Like, if we're lucky, maybe they'll overthrow this guy. Like, we need more examples of this where people topple governments, right? It's just like government is not helping anyone globally, maybe except the Chinese government. And I don't want to be in like a communist society, but at least they seem to like care more about the people than, I mean, our government clearly doesn't. It's just a rent-seeking machine is what it is. So, okay. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so there's actually no, okay, so in terms of the breach, let me just check if there's any comments. Yeah, I hope they do more than protest. I hope they overthrow their government. On it, like straight up. We need to see more of this kind of stuff because governments are failing everybody broadly. I'm rooting for the Albanian people, man. Julian, yeah, I was actually just thinking of Jimmy Dore. Actually, he was just on Tucker too. Obviously, the kind of the reason I became aware of him was because Kerp is on his show. So he had a guest that broke down last Friday. Apparently, they got it to €5 a meter when it's worth 50. Yeah, yep. Sounds like the grift is in. Absolute scumbags. Rent-seeking behavior. What a surprise. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm rooting for the Albanian. Like, hopefully it turns kinetic. I really hope it turns kinetic. And I hope the Albanian people are able to overthrow their government. Like, this stuff is just, like, enough. People are suffering, and, like, I mean, Jared Kushner is the guy who brought us the Iran war, okay? He's the genius that, got a fantastic agreement and then, like, misinterpreted what Iran said and then basically caused a war. And now he's off, raising billions of dollars. Like, I don't, yeah. Yeah, good for Albania. Prayer for Albania, everyone. I'm not, I know, oh, Alex, I know what you mean, but I'm not touching that one. I know what you mean. So anyway, I'm trying to keep the my discomfort is with the government of Israel specifically, and I try to keep it narrowly defined like that. So yeah, it's gonna get ugly before it gets any better. Okay, let's look at the Palantir hack thing. All right, so it does not appear to be a confirmed Palantir hack in the sense that Palantir itself was being breached. So what seems to be getting mashed together are three separate things. So there's a viral claim that Palantir was hacked. Palantir's own trust and security portal posted on February 19th, 2026, that it is aware of a viral social media claim and called it unverified and unfounded. Well, of course they're going to say that. They're not going to say that they were hacked. So you can discount that entirely. Number two, a real DHS ICE contractor leak. A hacktivist group reportedly leaked records involving thousands of companies working with DHS ICE. Palantir was reportedly one of the contractors named, but that does not mean Palantir's own systems were hacked. It appears to have been a DHS ICE-related contractor record leak. And then number three, there was Palantir's hack week around ICE tools. Wired reported that Palantir held an internal hack week, a hackathon, not a breach, to build auditing and oversight tools for Palantir software used by DHS and ICE. The tools reportedly let agencies monitor user behavior, search session logs, and flag behavior such as dataset exfiltration. So the broader scandal is really Palantir's expanding role in U.S. government data systems, especially ICE, DHS, IRS, SSA, health data, and cross-agency data sharing. Trump's March 2025 executive order directed agencies to give designated officials full and prompt access to unclassified agency records and systems for anti-fraud and anti-waste purposes. Critics fear this creates the technical and legal foundation for a centralized surveillance apparatus. Well, yeah, it does. Palantir denies it is building a master database of Americans or proactively compiling citizen data, saying it is a software provider and that customers control their own data. Those are weasel words. Well, yeah, the customer is the U.S. government. The U.S. government controls your data. It's got all your data. All right, on Thiel leaving the U.S., there's no confirmed evidence that it is directly because of a Palantir hack. Reporting says Peter Thiel has been spending more time in Argentina, bought a home in Buenos Aires, and enrolled his children in school there, framed as a billionaire plan B, geopolitical, and tax hedge. So the most accurate read is no confirmed Palantir breach, no serious Palantir surveillance data integration controversy. Yes, Thiel appears to be setting up an Argentina escape hatch. No, there's no solid reporting. The two cases are causally connected. So the plausible connection is reputational political. Thiel may be hedging against U.S. instability, taxes, backlash against billionaires, AI risk, or political blowback from the surveillance state he helped to build. And that's not, it's just an inference. It's not a confirmed fact, but yeah, a lot of stuff isn't going too great. I'm just going to see. Oh, we also had that woman that was found dead, but I haven't looked into that at all. So let me look at some of the comments. Okay, Argentina is where Hit, and his men went. Seems to be something going on there for the elite. Yeah, and Thiel is German. It's a German guy. Okay, so Salty Digital Dive is saying, it's not the story I got. I hear AI was used to hack it, and Palantir has huge archives of all political leaders. Trump, yeah, that's what I heard too, but I don't know. Yeah, that's possible too. That's possible. And one of his former lovers died, either committed suicide or died under mysterious circumstances, or both. I don't know. I have no idea what would bring him to Argentina. So who knows? All right, let's see what else. Oops. Oh boy, I didn't see that. All right. So there's between geopolitics and disclosures, four major things going on. So the hottest geopolitical stuff is obviously Iran, Israel, U.S., Lebanon. Right. The second one is NATO's being stress tested by U.S. retrenchment. The third is that there's a gray zone kind of activity in Taiwan/China, and then it's getting a little feisty. And then on UAP disclosure, the real story is pursue plus Congress plus contractors. So we'll get into that, but let's just go through. So we talked a little bit about Iran, Israel, U.S., and Lebanon. So the Middle East is still the dominant flashpoint. Recent reporting says the fragile ceasefire is already being tested by Iranian ballistic missile drone launchers toward Kuwait and Bahrain, U.S. interceptions, and U.S. strikes on Iranian radar sites near the Strait of Hormuz. That means the war is now explicitly touching Gulf bases, Hormuz security, oil markets, and U.S. regional credibility. The Lebanon front is also dangerous. An Israeli strike reportedly killed Lebanese army personnel, including a brigadier general, which risks collapsing U.S. brokered efforts to contain Israel-Hezbollah's fighting. The Israeli spying on U.S. official story fits into this. It looks like a standalone scandal and more likely a symptom of deep U.S.-Israel divergence over Iran and Lebanon. The reported concern is that Israeli intelligence is trying to understand or shape internal U.S. diplomacy, while Washington is trying to avoid broader escalation. All right, in terms of the disclosure angle, wartime skies are now crowded with drones, decoys, missiles, balloons, electronic warfare effects, and sensor artifacts. That makes genuine UAP harder to separate from battlefield clutter, but also forces militaries to improve detection, tracking, classification. All right, so the second biggest issue right now is that NATO is being stress tested by U.S. retrenchment. So Reuters reports that the U.S. is telling Europe and Canada to increase air, naval, manned and unmanned contributions to NATO as Washington reduces some forces available to NATO crisis plans. The quoted U.S. commander called NATO's dependence on U.S. forces an unhealthy codependence. Meanwhile, Ukraine is still in a high-stakes phase. Recent reporting says Putin rejected direct talks with Zelensky and insists Russia will win, while Ukraine is trying to regain initiative through deeper drone attacks and battlefield pressure. So, again, the disclosure angle is Europe's defense build-out will accelerate radar, space-based surveillance, drone detection, AI targeting, and electronic warfare systems. More sensors means more anomalous captures, but also more military secrecy. All right, the third biggest flashpoint right now is Taiwan. China is heating up in a very gray zone way. So Taiwan says the Chinese Coast Guard and research vessels operated near the Taiwan-controlled Pratas Islands, which Taiwan called a provocation. Reuters also reports U.S. pressure for Taiwan to spend smarter on defense, especially drones and asymmetric systems. So that's smart, actually. So again, the disclosure angle is another domain where UAP and adversary platform become hard to disentangle. The Indo-Pacific is becoming a testbed for drones, undersea systems, pseudo-civilian vessels, space surveillance, and electronic deception. All right, so on disclosure, as I mentioned earlier, the real story is pursue plus Congress plus contractors. So the Trump administration's official UAP release system, Pursue, has now released two tranches, which we went through on this very channel. The first on May 8th, 2026, and the second on May 22nd, 2026. The official page says the government is reviewing tens of millions of records across agencies and will release materials on a rolling basis every few weeks. That is actually significant, not because it proves aliens, but because it institutionalized a release pipeline. The government is framing these unresolved cases where it cannot meet or make a definitive determination and is inviting private sector analysis. Congress is also pushing. Ana Paulina Luna's task force requested additional UAP video files from the Department of War, Arrow, arguing that UAP around restricted airspace remain a security concern and that Arrow's answers have been inadequate. Ooh. The most interesting development may be Representative Eric Burleson's request for MITRE, or to MITRE, MITRE, for UAP-related records and assets dating back to 1930. Defense Scoop reports MITRE is reviewing archives in response. The request explicitly seeks records related to UAP transmedium events, anomalous recovered materials, foreign material exploitation, and alleged legacy craft retrieval or reverse engineering programs. That is the pressure point, not just government files, but contractor-held records. Okay, so the UAP story is now moving from do whistleblowers sound credible to can Congress force agencies and contractors to produce records? It's a much more dangerous phase for the bureaucracy, but geopolitically, the timing is terrible. A regional war involving Iran, NATO stress, Ukraine escalation, and Taiwan gray zone pressure all create perfect cover for agencies to say we cannot release more because the censored data overlaps with active defense capabilities. Okay, so from a disclosure standpoint, we should watch for three things: whether the next pursuit tranche contains genuinely new sensor video material or just historical paper. Two, whether MITRE, Patel, Lockheed, Raytheon, SAIC, Aerospace Corp, or other contractor-like entities get pulled into formal production requests. And three, whether the drone war explosion becomes the new excuse to reclassify UAP data under counter-UAS, counterintelligence authorities. All right, so that's kind of where we stand in the current geopolitical environment, which is all smiles and fairy tales. Yeah, of course. That's just a land grab. That's what the Israelis are like. That's just a land grab. Well, they've neutralized Syria, right? Well, they didn't do shit. The United States neutralized Syria, which is why we have all these like migrants flooding into Europe. Yeah, I agree. Spiritual ascension, like people are just going to have to ignore the government on this and just experiment and test and see what happens. Yeah, maybe. How's the heater work on the lunar lander? That's what I want to know. Who knows? Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting what flavor of lie they try to tell people in June, because it's definitely coordinated, right? We have disclosure day coming later this month, actually probably fairly soon, maybe in 2 days. So, but it's definitely a coordinated, like a well-coordinated series of events. So I just don't trust them. Yeah. Well, I don't even think some of it's tech. I think some of it is sentient plasmoids, like other forms of life that are more advanced than we are, that can, kind of go down the Nathaniel Gillis kind of rabbit hole. I think there's a lot of that. I think that's part of it. I don't think it's ours, but I don't rule it out, given that I think David Morehouse actually found the patents for some of the stuff that was seen in 2004. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they just use non-human intelligence as an excuse. Who knows? Anyway. Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what it is. The shining ones, yeah. That's what Steve Mera has said. That's what he calls them. I don't know if they're the same things. He calls them the shining ones. Like if you keep doing seances, you eventually get to the shining ones. I can't. What was the new Area 52? I didn't see. I may or may not have seen that. Wait, what's the shining ones? Are you saying the non-human intelligences that they're the shining ones? Oh, yeah, it's definitely possible that they're what they call the shining ones, right? Like Lucifer is the Prince of Light, right? Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Thanks for the sentiment. I'm rolling with Boner Dice again. One of the greatest names for an account. Yeah, I don't. I he had dinner with Kerp recently. I didn't follow up on Kerp about it, but yeah, he could be telling the. I just think there's people, whether wittingly or unwittingly, the people that he's tied to feed him a lot of like misinfo and disinfo. And I don't know if he's wittingly transmitting it or unwittingly. I don't know, but I think there's a lot of that involved. But I could be wrong. I would entertain a discussion with him. He's not like Greer where I just completely discount him because he said one thing that I'm just like, that's not. No one, dude, nobody in the intelligence community is going to offer you $1 billion to shut up. They'll just make you disappear. Like, that's when I stopped believing anything he said. Yeah. Again, I haven't talked to him, but my trust level there is low. And the fact that he got to Kurt, that's an interesting development. I don't know what that means. Oh, I have another interesting development. Hold on. So I'm not going to be specific because I don't even know how much of this I can say, but I'm going to say it anyway. And I don't know why, but I can say with certainty that are you all familiar with who Mr. Beast is? Well, his office reached out to one of the remote viewers at Future Forecasting Group. We don't know why. We don't know like what's going to happen with that. But I've told you everything except the name of the actual viewer because I don't know what I can say and what I can't. I just so I'm not sure what that entails. I don't know if that's going to be some sort of YouTube series or if it's like a private matter. I have no idea. Neither does the viewer who was contacted. So yeah, he says everything with huge conviction. And that's the problem. People get a lot of like, people love that. Like there are people who are attracted to that. And I'm not that way. Right? You saw the Julian Dury interview. I was very measured. At least I hope I was. I tried to be very measured and just talk about what I know and what I don't know. Hey, thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Like this one I didn't prepare for at all. Because I got a billion other things going on today. So yeah, so Siegfried's writes, Taiwan is complex, but this could fit into U.S. grand strategy. Pressure China's oil supply routes, why Taiwan and TSMC remain a critical counterweight. I wasn't sure China's ready for you. Yeah, I mean, that would be step number one, would be to shut down the Strait of Malacca. And then that's like, I mean, it used to be about 90% of China's oil. It might be less because of the Belt and Road Initiative, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like close to 87 million viewers. But I don't know. It could be a private matter. I don't know. I have no idea. Yep, pure, exactly. Pure spec the shit out of that episode. Well, this one is, I generally do this one about, let me think about this, 2.5 hours later on Saturday. Like I'm doing this 2.5 hours early because again, I have a conflict. So I don't know, I don't know what I'm going to do next week because I'm not going to have my whole rig. I'm not going to have everything. So it might just be like low quality, like it was when I'm, went on that brief trip to Willow Creek. Or I might not do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, I have the Duncan Trussell interview goes live Monday. So looking forward to that dropping. I actually, for the first time ever, released a short of one particular moment in there. The Caesar Milan Occult Dog Ritual Academy. I don't know where Duncan came up with that, but it's pretty funny. Although I got like one negative comment was just like it was something to the effect of like, that was crude. I did not appreciate the crudeness of that. So that person is now screaming into the abyss. If you don't like that kind of humor, I don't know why you saw it fit to like post that as a comment. It's not helpful. It's just like, wah! And it's like, all right, you can scream all you want into the abyss. Yeah, shrooms. Yeah, I can do a lot of them. So, oh my God. By the way, you should hear Nathaniel Gillis. You think I can do voices? That guy is next level. He is absolutely next level. So I'll get him back on here at some soon. But oh man, I got pretty tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So I appreciate that spiritual ascension. Oh man. What else do people want to talk about? I'm just trying to survive today. I hate travel. I mean, if it's not obvious, I absolutely hate traveling. Like I haven't even had time to like leave my house and go and walk in the park. Oh, there's a hawk that just showed up in my backyard. I can hear it. I doubt. I don't think you could hear it from. I don't think you could have heard. I don't think you heard it, but I could hear it. It's somewhere over that way, probably circling overhead. Just like a week ago, I saw my first barn owl. He flew directly up to me, circled my head twice, and then flew off to the west. And I may have a picture of a great horned owl off into the distance because I saw it just very briefly, but I haven't seen a lot of great horned owls recently. I've seen a ton of hawks. I haven't seen a lot of ravens either, which is kind of odd. But I've seen plenty of hawks. In fact, like a hawk kind of came over, like jumped off my house and took a shit in my on my back deck. It's still there. I'm just like, dude, why? You know, it's just this big white plop. It's like, bleh. So I tried that. There's one called like Angelology or something like that. That's the best you're going to get from him. Yeah, I've been way too busy, and I fell off the turnip truck off my diet. Like I haven't. Well, I mean, all the anecdotes I tell about like spooky stuff that happens to me, it's all positive. Hey, Justin, good to see you. Are you aware artificial intelligence is angelic technology? Is it? Oh, yeah, ringworm ain't great. You must live in the South, brother. That's where you get ringworm. You walking around barefoot again? Trying to see if I've seen any caught up with a turkey the other day. Oh, yeah. What are you doing on a wrestling mat? Are you a coach or something? You're not still in high school, are you? Not supposed to be watching this, son. I mean, I won't tell if you don't tell, but oh, Fallen Angel Tech. I got it. Oh, I will. Put your channel address in the bottom, and then just also email it to me at throughaglassdarkly@gmail.com, and then I'll subscribe to it. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about it, but you got Stanley Krippner, who has basically proven that dream telepathy and precognition is like a real verifiable thing. The guy's 93 years old, though. I mean, he's just like, but his mind is still sharp as a tack. I'm trying to think. I can just pull it up. Let me see what other guests we got. I'm just going to read off some of the names as I find it. All right. So, again, we got Duncan Trussell on Monday. Then we got Ryan Kralik for 2 episodes. He wrote a kind of another model of reality. R.A. Castaldo is going to talk about plasma and watchers and the more specifically the Grigori. And then we have Simon Bound comes back again to talk about the alien abduction program. And then John Majorowski, I got along with that guy really well. He's also had experiences with the lady. you're gonna want to watch that. Like that dude's tapped in. So I got 2 episodes with him. I talked to Mark Fiorentino, who has kind of his version of the unified field theory in physics. I also talked to Dr. Scott Taylor, who talks about shared death experiences and his own personal view of that. Then Les Velez, who talks about what happens after alien contact. He's runs an organization that interviews people who have been, or contactees basically. And then Alan Levine, who was an employee of APRO, kind of like the first like MUFON, so to speak. And, spoiler alert, it was an arm of the, U.S. intelligence services, clearly. And he ended up, maybe because of his association with that, getting abducted as well. And that's kind of why he left APRO, because he couldn't really report it to APRO, because then it makes APRO look sus. He was also involved in an earlier effort at disclosure that got subsequently canceled. So lots of good stuff. But I have 2 episodes with him, which are just kind of 1 episode. And then I meet with Deborah Jaffe, who is the daughter of Sam Jaffe, who used to be the Moscow correspondent for ABC News during the Cold War. And, lots of like crazy stuff that is revealed in that episode. For instance, like Walter Cronkite has been to the island, Epstein's Island. Like the former CEO of Blizzard Entertainment, which is a video game company, massive video game. Or Activision is the right name, but Blizzard Entertainment is part of that. He's also associated with the Epstein network. And then there's just all sorts of crazy stuff that journalists did back in the day. They were effectively agents for the FBI and CIA. It's kind of crazy stuff. Then I also meet with Mike Ricksecker, who I think has been on like Ancient Aliens and stuff like that. And we talk about portals and Earth's magnetic dead zones. And then I already talked about Stanley Kribner. That's gonna take the channel out to July 27th. And I just have one more kind of interview that has to be done, but I'm so far ahead that I had to stop because it was just too much. And I'm also starting to use Grok to animate different scenes for people who are reporting, and it's just getting better and better and better, and I'm getting better at it. So we'll see. Like, it's not perfect, but you'll see like the last 2 shorts that I put out, like the bottom screen, the bottom part of the image or the short is where I kind of leveraged Grok AI to kind of script out some of these things. Let's see. Through a Glass Darkly with Sean at gmail.com. It may be, but we don't talk about SSP. I didn't even ask about that. If you start talking about that, it would have been an instant. Like, yeah, I mean, Corey Good is suing people for stealing his IP. If the secret space program stuff were real, he wouldn't be suing people for stealing his IP because it's something that he alleges was real. So, yeah, there's all sorts of wild stuff, and I have a lot of podcasts to catch up on. So you can get it for $30 a month, or you can get both Grok and the blue check mark and all that's with it for $40 a month. So for me, though, it's a business expense that I offset against any revenue I generate from the channel. So, but I did cancel my blue check mark. And then as soon as I canceled it, I appeared on Julian Dory, and I grew more in that week on Twitter than I have in years on Twitter. So the blue check mark obviously wasn't helping. Like it did nothing. Okay. Yeah, why does Oh, I see what you're saying. You emailed it to me, so I can paste it in the browser. Hold on. Yeah, I do not see it. Am I even looking at the right one? Yeah, I don't see it. If you emailed it to me, I didn't get it. Um, Sorry, I'm just looking at something else. All right, let's see. Yeah, because when you tried to paste it in the browser, YouTube probably nuked it. Oh, we're getting another flare from the sun on Monday. The solar activity was causing headaches. Anyone else have this effect? I was just having really crazy dreams, but that's about it. I don't know if I told I think I told everybody about the. Did I tell everybody about the blue lady dream? If somebody heard that, just say yes, and then I'll retell it and waste people's time. I'll just wait because I don't want to. By the way, the TikTok channel is growing much faster than YouTube ever did. I mean, look, you got to get to 10,000 to monetize, and I'm at. I mean, look, in less than a month, I'm at 285. So wow, that's. Hold on. I mean, I know that's the nature of the beast, but yeah, my TikTok channel had more views yesterday than my YouTube channel did. Right, my YouTube channel had 26,652 views yesterday. Okay, my TikTok channel had 3,800 views. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. All right, I will in a second. Let me. What do you mean by an IP of Bledsoe? All right. What if all the magic stuff is just new age emperors, new clothes, is giving a new version of divine right to the elites because they can do magic and we can. We can do it too. Yeah, that's fair, but that's good, right? It's good to get a younger audience. So and then maybe they discover this channel over here. Oh, it's not intellectual property at all. Unless somebody makes something up. Like the lady is a known phenomenon. And that's why all these intelligence officials showed up at the Bledsoe house, because they're scared shitless of her. But as far as I've been able to tell, my opinion, as Julian Dory would say, pure spec, is that it is an emanation of Gaia, or the planet, right? Like Earth is a much more complex organism than we are. So it's Earth's way of interfacing with less sophisticated creatures like us. And when the lady shows up, it's usually, or not usually, I shouldn't say that, but usually there are sometimes mass die-offs, because it's like the planet cleansing too many people. So whenever she shows up, the intelligence community freaks out, right? So she was at Fatima in 1917. Again, I'm grouping the lady in with other Marian apparitions. I'm not saying she's Mary, the Virgin Mary, but I think that's how the Catholic Church may or may not whitewash these things, because usually, or oftentimes they'll describe a white lady, right? They don't say Mary, they just say, other times it's just been called like that damned thing, right? So, or that thing, not damn thing, but that thing. So, but to your point though, Alex, it might be the same lady. So I'll just describe the dream and I'll tell you why I think that. So in the dream, I was walking across a park. There were people in the park and there's no one in front of me. It was midday. I looked down and then I looked back up and there was a blue lady there, had a Mesoamerican vibe. I can't really describe her, but it wasn't like, I would just say everything was blue. Skin color, like it just blue. Okay. And then I looked back down again and she was gone. There was a feeling of awe and excitement that I finally saw her or whatever. And then I went somewhere else, somewhere it was like in like a tunnel system, but not real. Like that makes it sound a lot more dark and sophisticated. But like at business school, there was a tunnel system, like just literally right under, like right beneath the surface at like Harvard Business School, where you could just walk, during like winter, you could just walk from one building to another, just under. It was like that. It was like nice, clean. It wasn't dark. It was fully lit, all that stuff. But I was asking people if anybody else had seen her, and nobody else had, except someone named Louise. They said, "Oh, Louise saw her too." So that was the dream. I woke up and I got a strong Mesoamerican vibe for whatever reason. So I typed in like, are there any historical instances of the blue lady with a Mesoamerican vibe? And ChatGPT was like, oh yeah, Our Lady of Guadalupe Hidalgo was described as a blue lady. The church claimed it was a Virgin Mary or a Marian apparition, but it's also associated with Mesoamerican or Aztec, like an Aztec goddess of some sort. So that's the dream, but there was some significance to it. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it was just my unconscious just doing some work, or if it was a communication or message. I don't know. But it was weird. Better not be drinking Coke for breakfast. That's all I drink. Coke Zero. Oh, I got it. All right. I got it. I wasn't sure, but that makes sense. Write something down and burn it. We'd sacrifice to the wave god when we were kids headed to Hatteras. You realize that's sigilization, right? That is exactly what sigilization is. Or not exactly, but that's like a component of sigilization. You write something down, but you write it in an illegible way into like a symbol. That means like you write it down, what you want, and then you combine all the words and letters into some symbol, and then you destroy whatever that is and then forget about it. And whatever your intent was, and then that allows your subconscious to manifest it. At least that's so they say in chaos magic. So Siegfried is writing, what's an interesting dream topic nobody talks about? Meeting a love of your life in a dream. I've talked to numerous people who've had the same experience. Just strange. Yeah. Okay, We Can Do It Too is the new version of Emperor's New Clothes that I'm talking about, though. Like, how can we prove any of this is actually real using hard stuff the elites don't control? You don't. You just try it and see if it works. That's all you can do. There is empirical evidence, though, that you can start with. Like, I just interviewed Dr. Stanley Kribner, right? If you want to influence somebody in a dream, right, you can be awake while they're sleeping and project thoughts, and they will have dreams that are indicative of that. A lot of it's about intent. Now, would it always be that way? No, but they proved in the laboratory that is possible. Okay, so crop circles are not performed by aliens. The authentic ones are put there by Gaia. They are symbols to the soul to state that we have won. Maybe, I don't know. There are some that are done by humans, but there's a difference between those and things done by something else. Oh, Kuan Yin always yeah. All right, so Siegfried is writing, Sean, you should check out Salvia Divinorum. The Dark Lady is a common theme for experiencers, and many claim she is the physical embodiment of Gaia. Given my strange, like, animal behavior stuff and that dream, that's what I strongly suspect. And that's why the intelligence community would be terrified of her. Yeah. Maybe it just could be my subconscious. My subconscious could have just come to me. I don't know. All right, Darius P. Wright had a being named Celeste. Yeah. Eve is Gaia. Gaia is Venus's sister. Maybe, or maybe she's angry at me. I mean, it didn't seem negative. Let's see. Strange About Mary for you. You should watch the latest debrief episode. Yeah, Freddie, read your name. Freaking boy. That's a fantastic name. Good on you. Was it Darius? Hold on, you said Darius something. Oh, Darius P. Wright. Hey, Swade, good to see you, man. Actually, I don't even know if you're a man, but I'm assuming, based on your comments over a long period of time, that you are. I could be wrong. If I am, my apologies. It's just the energy. You have very male energy, whatever that means. Oh, man. I am really not looking forward. Like I'm taking a red eye, so like I get on the plane and then when I land, it is morning. Not great. The Greek goddess Hecate, isn't that like the goddess of like witches and stuff like that in Greek mythology? I used to think it was pronounced Hecate, but it's Hecate. I'm definitely something's definitely happened. There's no doubt about it. You want to call it an awakening? I'm starting to notice things. For sure. For sure. Ah. Is Hecate ever appear in like blue associated with her? Like I said, let's see. I had like a fun argument with my friend who's he's a black guy, grew up in Harlem, and he's like Sean, you woke. He's like you're black Irish. You're like you're basically calls like the Irish white blacks basically. And I'm like, I'm not woke. I'm not woke. I hate that stuff. He's like, yeah, ignore what it means. It just means like you're. Anyway, we were having a fun discussion yesterday. Walter, if you're listening, I love you, brother. I love you. He's like the only guy I can talk about like just race stuff. He's like the only one. Yeah, it's weird. He's like, you want to talk about somebody who's like, the total like absence of darkness and like pure light. That guy is amazing. Beat cancer twice. Grew up in Harlem during the crack epidemic. Like he got an 800 on his math SATs. Like he's just a remarkable human. Yeah, but then you like I don't want to have to well, you know the deal. It's just like everything's so uncomfortable now because they've like optimized on like all the space and stuff like that. So it's just like it's pure torture when you fly. Let's see. Did you make your own black background images? Oh, I generated it with AI. I just explained what I wanted. I'm like, I want a castle with like an owl, and then I want like satellite data overlapping it, and then I did a few iterations. Actually, I think I just did 2 examples, and this is the one I picked because it fit the vibe. I also gave it the exact hexadecimal code for the shade of blue that I wanted, to be fair, right? In fact, it's the same hexadecimal code that I use for like this whatchamacallit, this live stream. So that's how are you trying to start a channel? If you are, I'm happy to be a resource for you. I have a friend who started a channel 2 months ago and he's already got like close to 5,000 subscribers. I'm like, what motherfucker? Good for him, but like I struggled for so long. I think it took me like 3 years to get 5,000 subscribers. You know, I'm just okay. So spiritual sentence. She's often, I'm guessing this is Hecate. So she is often depicted as a triple-bodied or 3-headed deity and is always associated with liminal spaces such as boundaries, doorways, and 3-way crossroads. That sounds like Cerberus, actually. Okay. Okay, Athena, tutelary. Titaness corresponds to the 9th goddess in Egyptian Heliopolitan Aeneid. Isis' sister, Nephthys, has a gate for a headdress. Prometheus probably got in and out of Olympus with her help. Huh. Yeah, Hecate. Interesting. Oops. With a new logo. We'll see. We'll see. I got to grow a little bit more than where I gotta get to 100,000. I mean, my God. I don't know why it's taken so damn long. All right, now let's not snipe at each other. Or maybe it was Artem. Oh, just check. Let's just look up Hecate. I'm just all right. So she's an ancient Greek goddess associated with thresholds, crossroads, and liminal spaces, night, ghosts, magic, witchcraft, protection, and the underworld. She's often associated or understood as a goddess who stands between worlds, life and death, civilization and wilderness, human and divine, conscious and unconscious. That is why she appears at doors, gates, crosswords, tombs, and boundaries. In myth, Hecate is a Titaness or pre-Olympian deity, sometimes described as a daughter of Perses and Astaria. Unlike many older divine figures, she was honored by Zeus after the Olympian victory and allowed to retain power over earth, sea, and sky. Hesiod presents her as unusually honored and far and wide-ranging in influence. She is especially important in the life of Persephone. When Persephone is abducted by Hades, Hecate hears her cries and helps Demeter search for her. After Persephone's return, Hecate becomes her companion and guide, linking Hecate to the descent and return mystery, death, initiation, hidden knowledge, and transformation. Iconographically, she is often shown as torch-bearing, illuminating the dark path, triple-formed, facing three directions at a crossroad, accompanied by dogs. Ooh, that's weird. Especially black dogs, guardianship, the dead, and night, holding keys, access to hidden realms, gates, and mysteries, linked with serpents, daggers, ropes, and the moon in later magical and occult traditions. In popular modern occultism, Hecate is frequently treated as a goddess of witchcraft, necromancy, shadow work, crossroads magic, and spiritual initiation. But she is not merely dark or sinister. She is also a protector of households, women, children, travelers, the marginalized, and those passing through dangerous transitions. A good way to understand her symbolically, Hecate is the intelligence of the threshold. She appears with one phase of life ending and another that is not fully begun. She does not necessarily remove the darkness. She gives you a torch and shows you how to walk through it. That's interesting. All right, let's see. What else did I miss? All right, the image with the mansion has a beautifully unique aesthetic that hasn't been replicated anywhere. I used Pinterest to find similar images and zero things showed up. You got something special. Yeah, I got lucky. I definitely got lucky. It's ChatGPT, straight up. 5K is not bad at all. I remember when you've been following me that long. Yes, that was, oh my God. That was terrible. Hey, Yo Karma. Good to see you. Sorry I'm a little early. What is this? Okay. Sorry, things are unnecessarily alerting me that don't need to be alerted. Zuck and YouTube are at war over thumbnails. What? Why? What is Facebook going to fuck up now? They literally fuck up everything they touch. Zuck fucks up everything he touches. A mixture of old architecture, blue shade, and almost dark fantasy vibes. It's a certain esoteric sweet spot. Yeah, it does, but it also apparently is like, somebody was telling me it means like hidden. So it's like esoterically, it's not very smart. But, that's really annoying. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, I appreciate that because I did absolutely no preparation whatsoever. I am literally on the fly tonight. I am just bobbing and weaving. Oh, yeah. Yeah. After learning about fungal and slime intelligence, Kurt's show about parasites and how demons could be you seeing an infernal parasite. Who knows? Who knows? All right. When you wing it, big vibe, I guess, but I'm like constantly struggling to kind of figure out what I'm going to say next. Oh, man. I really don't want to get on that plane. It's just pure torture. Oh, God. Yeah, I can't stand it. I mean, they helped the intelligence community cheat on a U.S. election, like, or like swing an election by manipulating free speech. So yeah, I will. I hope so. Because literally, as soon as I get to where I'm going, then I'm going to have to go to sleep, try to sleep through the day, and then I got to get up in the morning, get on a train, go to New York, do an interview up there, get back on a train, come back, and then spend a week kind of doing nothing because I'm going back to my parents' house, and then I got to somehow get down to DC. So anyway, I just every time I get all my work done, and I'm like, I finally have carved out enough space to get other projects started, then I got to go on a trip. It happens routinely. It drives me nuts. I will be sleeping on the plane. There's no stopping it. If you spent any time in the Army, you can sleep sitting down, standing up. It's not going to be comfortable sleep, but it will be sleep. All right, if we're doing a goddess pitch tonight, Virtus, because I'm Virginian, she sent Hercules to his labors. Or Heracles, whatever they call it. Heracles. I forget which one is which. I mean, it's the same guy, but there's two spellings. Oh, I'm not one of those people. They're like the hat people. Only just I can't. That's not my DNA. I know that's stupid. I know that's dumb, but K is okay. Heracles is the Greek. Yeah. Yeah, I know. So I have a daughter graduating from college, so it's like I gotta. That's the thing I gotta go for. But I just hope I don't snore too loudly, because that's going to be awkward. But I always get a window seat because I don't like people like constantly waking me up to go to the bathroom. I just don't want to. I don't like. I don't appreciate that. I hate that. Oh yeah, I typed something in and then I forgot about it. Huh. That's very interesting, actually. Hakate's colors are black, red, white. So that's Negrito, Rubino, and Albino. Or maybe it's, I don't know. That's like a magical, those are like three magical colors. or rituals or something like that in chaos magic. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I use Suno, just suno.com. And then I literally told Grok, I said, I want you to like use my YouTube channel to generate lyrics for the podcast. And then I just let it rip. And then I just cut and paste that into Suno. And then in Suno, I asked Suno to have like a particular style of song. I think it was something like there was some prog rock, progressive rock elements. There was some like atmospheric. I forget, but you can like tailor it to that, and then you just paste the lyrics in, and then Suno will have somebody sing it. Not somebody, but yeah, I just suffer. I just suffer because I don't want to make somebody get up on my behalf. No, I can't do it without I can't. There's no way I would be able to do it without AI. I have no like. I had some like very limited formal musical training with the piano, but like not at all. Like I don't know how to play piano at all. I just don't. I don't have the skill set to do that. You kind of have to use AI. I mean, you could get more in depth with it, but you have to pay a lot more in order to get the subscription. I think I pay like $8 a month or something like that. But I do use it to generate music for the channel, and you own the copyright to that music because there's like a randomized element and all that kind of stuff. So it's good for people who are creative, but you know, aren't professional musicians, aren't professional artists, aren't you know that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm just keeping it real. I think Hollywood's in trouble. I think in less than 5 years, and they might already be in trouble. And good, because they've been a gatekeeper from like creative people, which is why they don't produce very like good movies anymore, because they're just like an oligopoly, right? So hey, good to see you, Nathaniel. I was just talking about you earlier, about your voices and whatnot. You know, your impersonations that you do. I know you probably don't want to. I mean, we have like 20 minutes left. If you want to jump on, just let me know, and you can do some of those impersonations. Because apparently, people like when I do ridiculous voices too, for whatever reason. Wow, really? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I'm not sure what Circle of Fifths. Hey, exploring Kauth Ra, or sorry, exploring Ka with Ra. What? Hey, is that URA? I felt like a fucking idiot. I didn't read it right, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be R.A. Castaldo. Is that you? Please confirm it's you. I'm pretty sure it's you, but anyway. Yeah, I don't care for him at all either. Yeah, okay, I thought so. I was just telling folks about your episodes coming up. I had to push it out by like, one slot because I just interviewed Duncan Trussell, and like I got to get that one out there. That one, I pushed everybody out pretty much by one slot because of that. But I will do that sometimes. You'll notice he's like the last interview that I processed. It's like the episode 496. And your episode is like a lower number than that. But I pushed everybody out. I pushed like probably 10, like, I don't know, it could be as many as 12 episodes out, something like that. All right, do you need to install anything for Grok, and can you use it with it? No, you might be able to install it, but I just use it through my browser. And then I'm trying to think. Yes, and you can use it on Apple tablet for sure. Because it's just prompt, but there's also an art to it too. So what I will do, because it's not very good at just generating something from scratch. So what I'll do is I'll ask ChatGPT to generate like storyboard, basically. I don't say that because I'll confuse ChatGPT, but I just ask it to like, okay, here's generate three scenes that show this. And then it'll generate that consistency that you need. And then what I'll do is I'll go into Grok and I'll say, okay, Grok, start from this image and go to this image. And then that way you can kind of rein it in. Otherwise, like, I'll give you an ooh. Can I do that? Let me show you how Grok can sometimes go horribly wrong. Okay. If you've seen the latest KERP, whatchamacallit, not short. Oh, of course I can't. Hold on. I could show this. Let me see if there's a way to. So it would have been season 5. I was just thinking. It will sometimes misinterpret what you have, and first of all, it'll content moderate you for stupid shit, and then not content moderate you for stuff that should be content moderated. I'm going to show you an example of, like, if your image has any child in it, right? Because ChatGPT just had an image of like dead people, but like just spirits, not like anything, and it just happened to have a child in that. Like Grok was like, cannot produce content moderation. It doesn't tell you why, but I just asked ChatGPT to remove the child and then uploaded pretty much the same image and it was fine. So okay. So let me see. I'm just waiting for this thing to come up. Okay, so I will show you the KERP short first. And just look at the image below when I do that. Share screen. Thanks for asking this question because it actually just gave me more content. Okay, window, boom. All right, so I'm going to play this thing first. All right. So watch this image at the bottom. And I'm going to show you an earlier iteration that I did not ask it to do.
Well, don't be afraid to let the graze into your heart. They'll show you your dead loved ones. It's great. They'll stick their finger in your butt and tell you not to pollute. I'm sure that's not a scam.
Hold on. I want to play that again because you couldn't see half of it. All right, here we go. Let's do it one more time.
Well, don't be afraid to let the graze into your heart. They'll show you your dead loved ones. It's great. They'll stick their finger in your butt and tell you not to pollute. I'm sure that's not a scam.
Okay. All right. Now, could you see on the bottom right? The hand starts to go underneath the person in the video. Let me see. Okay. So I don't think this is too terrible, but it could be. Hold on. I want to find the most egregious one first. Okay, it's not that one. All right. So this is the raw image that I was like, that's not what I wanted, but this is what it did. Okay, so share screen. Okay. Let me see what it looks like from your perspective. Okay, got it. Jesus Christ. All right, now watch this. Okay. I told it to put the hand underneath the man. This is what Grok did. Okay. I did not ask it to do that. I did not ask it to do that. All right, let me see all the comments that I missed. Okay. All right, so Nancy said the blue lady was a prophetic spirit that came to me in my dream life, and I relied on her during trouble. I'd pray to her. She always helped me. Interesting. Oh, yeah, the Solomon Pokemon. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He actually sent it to me directly. Interesting. Okay. All right. She came to me and was a permanent part of my childhood. I'd never heard anyone mention the blue lady since. Interesting. Yeah, you just have to use it to do one thing and then take that and try to rigidly get AI. I mean, it's still a pain in the ass. Huh. That was in the early 1970s in the Bay Area on the coast in Pacifica. Yeah, mine, I'm in the East Bay. So I'm in the Bay Area as well. I wonder what that means. That's kind of weird. There's probably something to that. Maybe. I know, it was pretty bad. Yeah, that's happy ended. Yeah, basic. I'm just I didn't ask it to do that. Oh, you mean on Dory? I wasn't on Jones yet, but if Danny wants to interview me, I'm game. I'm definitely fair game. All right, what else we got? Yeah, it does some dirty things. The bay itself, I don't think so. It had a vibe like the lady. Would be my guess. Yeah. I know. I figured you meant Dory. All right, what else? What do we want to talk about in the last 8 minutes? Because I do really have to go. Because I have an Uber picking me up soon. Not soon, but I still have to pack or finish packing. whatever that means. Let's see how we're doing here. What else do folks want to talk about in the last few minutes? Okay. You say sirens are the women that mated with the fallen. That was their due. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, did I say that as one of the? Yeah, that's the Granada Treaty or something like that. Yeah, well, maybe in dreams because I've never been able to effectively meditate. But the Dow is that it got creamed last week. At least the market got creamed last week. Huh. Let's see what else we got going on. What else? I'm fading quickly too. I had like a massive lunch so I wouldn't have to eat and so that I could process it before I left and didn't get hit when I was stuck on a plane. But I don't know. We'll see. Oh, what am I doing here? Like lost my place. Oops. I mean, do they know what they're working with? Hell no. I will hold that shit in. No way. You know what's going to spray back at you? I don't shit anywhere in public. It's not like the army where you could like, stick your ass over the back deck of your tank and, do a tactical dump. You can't do that. You can't do that in the civilized world. No, I am not a plane pooper. Hell to no. Oh, I'm going to volunteer way too much. Once I held it for 8 days because we were in the field and it was cold. It was freezing. It was like called the 10-day war in Kentucky in like, it was like 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was freezing. We're, close to 0 degrees Celsius. And I think that's, yeah. And it was so cold, like you were exposed to the elements. So I held one for 8 days. That's not healthy, by the way. I'll be gracing the lectern on the 15th. Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, good night. Good night on the East Coast. I'll be there in the morning. I hate traveling. Well, I shouldn't say that. When traveling means like driving cross country, totally cool with that. I love it. It's like the equivalent to meditating for me. Planes, going through security, that is pure torture for me. In fact, rather than fly from one city to the next, I'm getting on a train because I hate flying that much. Not because it scares me, it's just because it's so physically painful. Oh, yeah. Abraxas. I once started writing a short story about it. There's something about like 365 days with Abraxas. I started writing a short story about it years ago. I think sometime in like 2017, something like that. Oh, from flash frozen popsicles? What? I didn't know that. Yeah, they did. They made it torture. It didn't used to always be torture. Now it's just torture. But Abraxas is also, I think, in the Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Dictionnaire Infernal, I think. It's in one of those two books. Abraxas is listed as one of the demons in it. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just can't avoid it. Sometimes you just have to do it. I don't, like I said, I abhor it. I hate it. Because they turned it into like a torture ritual. It's like a torture ritual. And since my flight is one way, so I fly into one city and then I fly out of another, they're going to stop me. They're going to fucking search me and all that nonsense. Off of one stupid signal that it's all theater, all of it. And it's just stupid. All right, everyone. I got to seriously, honestly go and get ready, pack up my stuff. So you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and maybe see y'all next week. We'll see. Depending on what my rig is going to be like on the other end of this. So good night. God bless and see y'all soon.
In crumbling spires where the old world dies, flames of folly paint the ashen skies. Disintegration pulls at every thread. Destruction howls where the living tread. Yet through the smoke, a silent feather falls and now cuts the darkness, answering the call. Born from the thunder god splitting head, armored in wisdom, no fear, no dread. Ode to Athena, goddess of the wise owls overhead. Bring the signs we prize. Synchronicities dance in the midnight hour. Communication through the veil, your sacred power. Who once for the past, twice for what will be. Precognition gleaming in eyes that see. Mystical encounters like the broken art. You forge renewal in the human heart. In the human heart. your aegis shields the mind when all else is blind. From Zeus' skull you rose, spear gleaming bright, teaching us to weave new order from the night. To Athena, in the ashes we stand, owls flying low across this blighted land, delivering wisdom that the ancients knew. Renewal rising as we listen to you. Through the veil we commune, soul to soul, precognition making broken spirits whole. In times of falling, your wisdom calls. Athena, guide us as the new world dawns. Hoot softly now, the veil is thin. Oh, to Athena, let renewal begin. Awake, rise, break free from dead lies. Old system dies tonight, chains fall as truth ignites the fight. Awakening surges, the sleeper sees first light. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void, forge on. Go. Shatter now, old cage cracks and breaks, consensus lies dissolve. Welcome the unknown, let fear resolve. Forge new paths where no map has ever been drawn. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void, forge on. Go. Silence, call, build bridge, cross the wall, destroy their scripted tale. Shape your own reality unveiled. Ignore the system, it's nothing but hollow whales. Breathe deep, heart pounds in the deep. Unknown calls your true name, break every chain in freedom's flame. You are the author, the end. the tall grass, poison in the vein. Lab-born fever dreams, riding on the rain. They called it a pandemic, locked the world in chains, while the suits kept counting, stacking up their gains. Psychological sterilization, numbing out the fire. Screens and silent signals, killing young desire. Birth rates crashing, spirits in decline. A quiet war on bloodlines, one injection at a time. Bubbles popping, hyperinflation breath. Empty shelves and broken dreams, dancing with death. Wars in Ukraine, fires over Iran, feeding the machine with the blood of every man. Rise up, before the silence wins. Delete the machine, let the nightmare end. Total control is choking out your dreams. Rise up, tear apart the seams. Punishing, taxation, bleeding out the poor. Open corruption, laughing behind every door. They print it, they spend it, they crash it on command, while the middle class is buried in the sinking sand. Despair is the weapon, hopelessness the chain, turning some to shadows, daughters into pain. They want us weak and scattered, divided and afraid to manage the population in the bed they made. Bubbles popping, hyperinflation breath. Empty shells and broken dreams, dancing with death. Wars in Ukraine, fires over Iran, sacrificing nations for their master plan. Rise up, before the silence wins. Delete the machine, let the nightmare end. Total control is choking out your dreams. Rise up, tear apart the seams. They own the banks, they own the wars. They own the needles, they own the laws. But they don't own the fire burning in our veins. We were born for freedom, not eternal chains. No more compliance, no more quiet graves. The hour is late, but the spirit still saves. Rise up, let the whole world hear. Delete the machine, make the bastards disappear. Before the total control mechanism kills the light, we rise up into the fight. Delete the machines. Delete the machines. Before it suffocates your dreams. Dim light on the mic, shadows start to crawl. Paranormal whispers echo through the hall. Military minds and ancient bloodlines blend, where the veil is thin and the truth won't bend. Stargates humming in the desert night. Sumerian demons dancing in the fight. Remote viewing psyops, mind control machines. Sean's digging deeper where the unseen screams. From Ukraine fires to invisible wars. Lucy's stressed rituals behind closed doors. Pazuzu laughing Anunnaki call. The glass is dark but we see it all. it feels. This is how it feels. Interviews with warriors who walk the line. Remote influences twisting space and time. Dragon bloodlines, hauntologies, games. Skinwalker shadows calling out your name. Geopolitics twisted with the occult thread. Writing worlds where the living meet the dead. Financial freedom in a world gone mad. Building empires while the sleepers stay unaware. Ed Dane's legacies and psychic warfare plays. Mind viruses spreading through the haze. From ninja suits to the unseen fray. The podcast cuts through the fog and gray. Through a glass darkly, peering into night. Where fiction turns to fact and wrong becomes right. Paranormal meets the battlefield's edge. National secrets on the razor's ledge. Rise through the darkness, break the hidden seals. Through a glass darkly, this is how it feels. Not just stories, it's the hidden war between the spirit realm and what we saw. Hazlett holding up the mirror, cracked and true, showing us dimensions bleeding into view. No more veils, no more silent nights. We chase the signal through electric lights. Through a glass darkly, we refuse to kneel, chasing demon secrets and the real. From military fiction to the cosmic wheel, the truth is stranger than the tales we feel. Through a glass darkly, lift the veil, ignite. Through a glass darkly, step into the light. Through a glass darkly, peering through the dark. The glass is cracking. Let the truth spark. Awake, rise, break free from dead lies. Old system dies tonight. Chains fall as truth ignites the fight. Awakening surges. The sleeper sees first light. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void. Forge on. Go. Shatter now. Old cage cracks and breaks consensus. Lies dissolve. Welcome the unknown. Let fear resolve. forge new paths where no map has ever been drawn. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's alone. To God what is God's on the silent throne. Seek the void, forge on, go. System. It's nothing but hollow whales. Breathe deep. Heart pounds in the deep. Unknown calls your true name. Break every chain in freedom's flame. You are the author, the end and the start of the game. Cast off the old world and walk through the fire untamed.